Right, it's now time for Rupert's Royal Roundup.
Rupert's Royal Roundup.
Good morning, young Rupert.
Good morning, David.
How are you?
Renee.
Good morning.
How are we?
I'm very good, gearing up for a Royal Ascot week.
Well, I have to tell you, so am I.
Are you?
Yes, I went and got my morning suit yesterday. I'm going on Wednesday. When are you there, Rupert?
All week. I'm working there for the other side.
Groundsman.
So for Talk Sport, I shall be commentating, going back to my roots.
Oh, Rupert, I have to meet you then on Wednesday when I'm there.
Why are you not taking me?
Oh, because I got invited.
Oh my goodness.
Are you in the enclosure? Are you in the enclosure?
I'm in the royal enclosure, yes.
Right, very good. And has you got the proper top hat and tails?
Yes.
And, will I be impressed by your outfit?
Well, I hope so. I'm very pleased with it. I tried it on yesterday. But anyway, I hope to see you. I shall make an appearance on Talk Sport. I know a great deal about racing.
Well, I'll try and send you a tip or two before you go, so you can sound knowledgeable, David.
That would be brilliant.
And those things running in the middle of the course are called horses.
Right, I see,
David?
yes. No, listen, I can ride horses, so I do know about horses. It's about the one sport I do know. No, that and tennis. But anyway, that's very exciting, Rupert. I hope to see you on Wednesday. Right, what else for us?
Well, there's been quite a lot going on. While you were getting your morning suit fitted, I imagine, in parts of London, obviously, were blocked off for the Trooping of the Colour.
Indeed.
Which actually, and you may have been lucky enough to see that fly past in London, because it looked absolutely spectacular.
It was.
And, it was the first for the King. The CR formation of the planes as well looked really good. The red arrows, that was actually a sort of, what was supposed to happen at the coronation, but obviously we know that day the weather was wretched, so they wasn't able to put the sort of full fly past in place that day. So we got something like what we might have seen at the coronation yesterday, and it looked great. And actually everything else, the sort of pomp and ceremony, the significance of the occasion, the King riding his horse at the Trooping the Colour. His mother last did it in 1986, and there he was doing his bit out in front as a 74-year-old, and everyone saying, well, how much like his father he looked.
Oh, so that's the thing. I couldn't get my head around how like his father he looked, and I think partly because the top of his head was obscured, but the bottom of his face was the spitting image of his father. I have to say, his horse obviously was a little frisky, certainly to begin with, and I thought he controlled it rather magnificently.
Well, he's a very good rider. Look, he's played a lot of polo. He's ridden in horse races. He's an experienced horseman. So, but it's again the pressure of the situation. You don't want anything to go wrong. And if his horse was being, he showed managing to get the horse to sort of stay calm and pass without incident. It is difficult. Look, I don't ride, but obviously under that kind of scrutiny, when you're expected to get to the right place at the right time, it's not easy, but for anybody. But he did it, and hopefully he enjoyed the experience of taking part in his first King's birthday parade.
Yeah, I mean, it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
Our monarch.
And also, when he got to Buckingham Palace, I was laughing to myself. The fact is, he was there saluting the troops as they went past, and the horse was determined to walk backwards in a diagonal fashion, and he was pretending not to notice. I mean, you can't control animals, and obviously the pressure was there for the horse as well, I guess.
Oh, yeah, and they're very well trained. As much, and that horse, would have been selected for his her temperament, and it was lovely to see him getting the control. Actually, overall, it was again a spectacular occasion, enjoyed by many.
Absolutely. I thought it was brilliant. And the whole thing, I mean, I have to say, he's no spring chicken either, is he? The fact is, to ride at his age, and he had such an upright posture as well. I thought the whole thing was exemplary. I was very struck, I said earlier, I was very struck by the youth of the troops, the fact they said it was, and I watched a lot of those interviews saying what an honour it was to take part in the King's first Trooping of the Colour.
Yeah, and those all 7 regiments of the Household Division were represented, and that is a rarity in itself. So the Welsh Guards were actually Trooping the Colour, and for the ensign who did that was Freddie Hopkinson, a huge honour. To do that, he will have a lifetime of memories. It's not easy when you're trooping that colour and holding it. You've got to have a pretty strong right hand to make sure that the ensign stays in place. So a real honour for him and all the others taking part. And actually for the spectators, it's something that we do well. And for the King at 74, I'm sure he'll be making sure he can try and ride it many more. And obviously we saw the balcony scene, people saying, well, there wasn't many on there. And funnily enough, we managed to get some Meghan photos as well yesterday.
We did. We did. I just wanted to say there were a couple of things about the coronation. Obviously, you saw one of the little princes steal the moment there with his like that. And of course, the other thing was that I was also, I suppose, quite relieved to see the sheer numbers of people in the Mall. I thought that was extraordinary, and I imagine the King would have been thrilled. He will be less thrilled, or maybe he will be thrilled about what's going on with Meghan and Harry and Spotify. This is a great story.
Yeah, yes, and particularly one of the executives calling them some grifters. Well, it actually was a bit stronger than that, so I'm led to believe.
It began with an F, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And you think, well, that's punchy. And, you know, he said, almost went on to say, look, I need a drink if I to be able to say the contents of the Zoom conversation with Harry. It was pretty damning. And it is interesting that the no publicity couple do manage to get the paparazzi to photograph her so that, well, we get all the lovely photographs of Kate and all that, being Father's Day with William and his photographs with his children that's come out today. You know, funnily enough, we get a photograph of her being Pat walking around looking all forlorn after the demise of the Spotify deal. There is talk, though, that maybe her new agency are trying to line up maybe to become one of the faces of Dior, so that it may not all be doom and gloom within the Markle and Harry camp. So, but it is interesting that they have now got to restore the balance and prove that their brand has some worth. And Spotify clearly thought their brand or her brand of podcasts were not worth continuing with, and that might, and the Netflix scenario as well, that might also be unraveling, but we'll wait developments on that.
I mean, they've paid $20 million, or that was the deal, that's how much the deal was worth, and if you're not getting the viewers and listeners, then obviously it's not commercially viable. I mean, just in terms, what are your sources saying about their next move? I mean, they must realise that their brand is, I think, irrevocably damaged, and finally people have woken up to that.
Well, the key, I think, is that she has signed up to a pretty aggressive, punchy agency that will work very hard on her behalf. But they will need to come up with a strategy that is able them to move on from the sort of endless complaining about their previous life, that actually what it does now is they've got to turn it full circle to turn what the negative stuff into a positive. Now, you look at when Camilla first when married the King and was back around it, you know, her press wasn't great, but now much easier. So it is possible to turn it round, but it's going to require skill of that agency and for Meghan and Harry to toe the line and to, you know, make sure they don't go off-piste, as it were, to rebrand. And maybe the easiest thing is to become the face of, because all you've got to do is be photographed, and hopefully by you wearing it, and let's be honest, she does photograph well, then it has a chance of rehabilitating her in the eyes of the public. But the answer is we don't necessarily want to hear from her. We may be seeing her.
We don't want to hear from her. Rupert, thank you very much. I hope I do get to see you on Wednesday, so come and say hello to us mere mortals from your lofty control tower there for Talk Sport at Royal Ascot.